In this video, I'm going to go over how to multiply and divide terms and how to evaluate expressions. So we're going to start with the same expression in both of these examples, 3 times 8g plus 2 times negative 5g. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to evaluate it without simplifying. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to simplify it and then evaluate. And we'll see what happens. So let's see. Start with this expression, do not simplify it, evaluate for g equals 1/2. That means I'm going to plug in 1/2 every time I see g. So that's going to be 3 times 8 times 1/2 plus 2 times negative 5 times 1/2. All right, so let's see, 8 times 1/2. That's 1/2 of 8 is 4. So this is 3 times 4 plus, let's see, 2 times, negative 5 times 1/2 is negative 5/2. Then 3 times 4 is 12 plus negative 5. So I'm going to write this over here. 12 plus negative 5, which is going to equal 12 minus 5, which is 7. All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to evaluate when g is 1/2, but I'm going to simplify this first. So if I simplify this first, I get 24g plus negative 10g, which is 24g minus 10g, which is 14g. Okay, so if I simplify it first, I just have 14g, and I'm going to evaluate it now. And I'm going to plug in 1/2, and 1/2 of 14 is 7. So do you notice how I get the same answer, but when I simplify it first, there's a lot less work going into my evaluation than if I don't simplify my expression. So the point of this is, if you can simplify your expression, please do so first, because then it'll be a lot easier for you to evaluate that expression. Okay, next I'm going to go over distribution and dividing. So here, this is a single term, and it's being multiplied by every term inside of this group in parentheses. So I'm going to have to multiply it by a, by r, by s, and by 2. Here's my single term. It can be in the back. And I need to multiply it by everything in this parentheses. I need to multiply it by the 2j, the negative 5t, and the 3. So let me do those ones first. M times a is ma. M times r is positive mr. M times positive s is positive ms. And m times positive 2 is positive 2m. Now I also could have said am instead of ma, or rm instead of mr, because of the commutative property of multiplication. But I'm just going to leave my answer like this. Okay, 4 times positive 2j is 8j. 4 times negative 5t, now careful, this is a negative 5t. So 4 times negative 5t is negative 20t. And 4 times 3 is positive 12. All right, now we're going to go on to division. Now what do we divide? We're dividing this group by this single term. So really what we're doing is we're doing 72p divided by 8 plus 64 divided by 8. We're dividing each of the terms inside parentheses by 8. So this is going to give me 9p plus 8. All right, here I'm going to divide everything in parentheses by 1/2. So 12g divided by 1/2 plus 6h divided by 1/2. Now when you divide by 1/2, what you're really doing is multiplying by the reciprocal. So when you divide by 1/2, what you're really doing is multiplying by 2. So this is going to give you 24g plus 12h. And you can check that by using a calculator. All right, I hope this helps. Please see me if you have any other questions.